What is up, all you beautiful faces out there? It's Hump Day here in the South, and let's have a good one for you. We got a March Madness show on the way. Let's get it going. Hello and welcome, everybody. Happy Hump Day to all you beautiful faces out there. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday out there. It is 12:35 Central here in the South, and we would like to welcome you guys to our March Madness. We got the Sweet 16 today, baby. We're going to be taking a look at the entire slate, the Thursday and the Friday games, and we have something a little bit special for you guys today. We have a special guest. I had a guy reach out. He said, Chris, Saggy Bills, Catching Cash, what can I do to help you guys out? So I said, hey, if you want to help us out, let's get you on the live show and see how you do. So let me formally introduce BG. What up, BG?
What's up, Chris? Let's jump into these picks, man. I hate a lot of them, but let's get
right into
look at this.
Let's get right into it today. And if anybody doesn't know, we're going to be using our Doink service that we use here. And if you are curious about Doink, we have a referral code underneath my name, code CASH. You get your first month free. And every month after that is $9.99. And guess what they're going to be doing here pretty soon? MLB. They should be rolling it out here in maybe tomorrow, next day, couple of days. MLB starts Thursday. So they got something cooking up for you guys. So watch out for that. But other than that,
it's worth it. It's worth it. 2-0 on NHL bets since I got it.
Let's go. BG is a formerly new Doink user within, honestly, like a week or so. And he's used it twice, and he's 2-0. So let's ride with it.
Bro. Hell yeah.
All right, first game, we got Arizona and Clemson. Do you know where they're playing this one at, the West Series?
Dude, Los Angeles.
L.A.?
Yeah, L.A.
Nice.
L.A. This is the game I hate the most because, to me, in my mind, it screams Arizona, even it being a 7.5-point spread. I just think Clemson's they've had their little run because they were so bad.
So bad.
They just played well. They just played well. And I think Arizona's just the superior team.
No, it's interesting you say that because right before the stream, I mentioned how one of my favorite picks is Clemson, but then you threw something in there that makes, honestly, a lot of sense to me. And it's kind of like, I think their run might be over. I really think it might be over too. I mean, going into, conference tournament, awful. They played San Diego. They played New Mexico State. You can see right here, they were plus 2.5. We were on New Mexico State. That was our bet of the day. The whole world was on New Mexico State, and they blow them out by 21. Then they face a Baylor team. The Baylor Bears, they're always going to be in there, but you kind of expect them to kind of always hold their own. And at a plus 4.5, Clemson beat them by 8. So that's why I liked Clemson, but that point you just made.
And look, they look good doing it against Baylor. That's the part that throws me is they look so bad and then they look so good a week later. I don't know. I like Arizona. I had Arizona going on a deep run. I had Baylor going on a deep run though, so who knows? I like Arizona here. I don't see Clemson matching up well, and I think they come down to earth.
I think this might be the
this is a tough game for me. I don't know.
Yeah, the Clemson bandwagon Dabo Swinney fans that are still hanging on to their Clemson pride from years ago with Trevor Lawrence. They might be toughened to hear that. But honestly, you might have convinced me on Arizona too, because Arizona's been the much more dominant team throughout the whole season. And Clemson, like you said, they got hot at the right time. Now, about getting hot though. If you're hot, you're hot. But I feel like in basketball, a team like Clemson who's hot, right? You can look back at the St. Peter's, you can look back at all these teams throughout the years that have made these crazy runs. They never really get past kind of where we're at right now, Sweet 16. Right. And that kind of feels like Clemson. I like that.
And they've controlled the games where they won against Baylor and New Mexico. It felt like they were the better team. I don't see them being able to do that, but that's
a good point. The last point, that's a good one, is the control of the game. I feel like Arizona is going to come in and immediately take control and just kind of have it the entire way through.
play the game they want to play. Clemson's got to play a specific way to win, and I don't think Arizona's going to let them. I think Arizona's too versatile, and they're too good of a team.
Yep, agreed. All right, moving on. So on that one right there, if you're looking at Arizona, Clemson, unofficially, we'd probably take Arizona, but for honestly, it's a stay away game for me.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this.
It's a stay away game.
I'm staying away from a lot of these games, but there's a few of them that I like.
Okay, next one we got East. Where's you know where the East is at?
Yes, Boston.
Boston. Oh shit, they're way up there.
Boston,
so UConn,
it's a home game for UConn.
I was about to say UConn's pretty much at a home game then.
Yeah, man, UConn. They're becoming one of those teams where it's just like ride them until they let you down. Like I don't. They're beating the brakes off everyone, and I just
kind of like South Carolina State girls.
Yeah, it doesn't. This doesn't seem like a fair matchup. I mean, Dan Hurley can complain all he wants about the time of the game or whatever, but I think they're gonna run through this team. I feel like I'd lay the 11 and just let it roll. They're too good. They're playing too well.
I mean, I even look at San Diego State's. Let's look at their last 3 games. So you had the conference tournament championship, and then you had round 1 and round 2. Conference tournament championship. You look right here. They played who? New Mexico State. They played that's the same New Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So no. Or is
yeah. Clemson.
One?
Yeah, that's the same one. Clemson played New Mexico. And I think this is New Mexico. Yeah, that's New Mexico.
Okay, same teams. Okay, so they go into conference championship playing the same team Clemson beat by 21. They lose by 7 going into a game where they're favored by 2.5. Then you come and you're playing a UAB team who, I mean, it's fine. They're it's a mid-major team who made it into the round of 64. Congratulations. Yeah. They go in at a 6.5 points favorite and they only win by 4. Then, who I bet Yale, I mean, I was against Yale. I didn't think they would pull it out game 1. So then everybody's like, oh, Yale, like there's something scary. They put them at a -5.5 favorite and they beat them by 28, which is honestly expected. I expect that.
Yeah, I think Yale was one of those games where they just pulled off a huge upset. I don't think it was like UAB. I don't think anyone would have been shocked if UAB had beaten San Diego State. I think a lot of people had them moving on. Yale was kind of just here we are. we
made it. Like, we're smart. We're here and we're smart. Yeah, we're here and we're smart. Exactly. And like, we beat you for a game, but like, and that's where I kind of agree with you full-heartedly on UConn. They beat, look at these two teams. I mean, they beat, Stetson by 39. That's a bit ridiculous. And then they beat Northwestern by 17.
Yeah, it's hard to shy away from them. I'd ride them until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, same.
They can win in so many different ways. Their big man is a dude. I don't remember his name right now, but he's a dog. Their guards are some of the best in the nation. I don't see anybody in the tournament matching up well with them. Maybe with the exception of Duke because they have Filipowski and they can score from the outside too, but they're just too good. They're all around. They're just too good.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't think a San Diego State team is going to be able to match up with that, especially with it kind of being a half-ass home game for UConn, unless they're a host. They're not are they a host site?
No, but how far is Boston from Connecticut? It can't be that far.
No, it's not far. Those states are small. I'm moving up to Jersey here soon. All those states mesh. They all mesh together.
I don't really get above Arkansas very often.
You should try it. All right, UConn, San Diego. Unofficially, we're taking UConn -11. Clemson, Arizona. We said we unofficially are staying away from it. San Diego State, UConn. Unofficially, we take a -11. I think that's a really good look there. All right, you mentioned it before stream. I asked you. I said, if you had to have your favorite play, Brennan, BG, what would it be? And you hesitated. But you did say Alabama a little bit. So I want to hear your word on what you like on Alabama.
I mean, I like Alabama plus the 4.5. I think it's 4.5 now. It was 4. Yeah, it's 4.5. This is just strictly eye test. I find North Carolina has just, when I've watched them, have started slow. They look sluggish in the first half of games, especially that ACC tournament. They didn't look very impressive to me. And I caught the back half of the Alabama game. I know it was Grand Canyon, so I take it with a grain of salt.
I was pretty high on Grand Canyon. Not gonna lie. I think they had a really good. I'm going to say this about GCU real quick to cut you off. I think GCU had a great year. I think they're a great program. They have a really good coach who came from a good program, and so like I was high on GCU, and I think Alabama beating them by 11 is like impressive. Like I'm gonna like it's I don't think it's it was just GCU. I give GCU their props. I will say that.
Yeah, this didn't feel like I guess when you're watching it didn't feel like a GCU versus Alabama. It felt like two chalks really going at it. Mm-hmm. They kept throwing punches, and Alabama kept wearing them and throwing them back. Nate Oates you can call him a terrible guy if you want to call him that. He's a good basketball coach. I don't know. I trust Alabama here. I think they get it done. North Carolina is just not impressive to me. They're the weakest of all the 1 seeds. I like Alabama.
A big thing that sticks out to me too is like I know it's conference championship, but I'm still going to go back to it. They lose to NC State when they're a 10.5 favorite. They lose by 8. So I know in-state rival, in-state school, the whole 9 yards and all that shit. I had a buddy that played baseball in North Carolina State, so I get it, but. As a 1 seed playing in the conference championship, you're 2 weeks, you're 11 days out from that kind of play that you had. I don't know. Like
it's far behind you.
Yeah. Like since then you've played, wait, who is this? WAG? Who's that?
That's WAG.
So
WAG beat the brakes off of him. Looked good doing it.
No, agreed. And then you had Michigan State who okay,
that's a good win. That's what gave me a little bit of pause. That Michigan State win gave me pause when looking at it. I don't know. Something in my gut is saying, "Hey, Alabama might have this one."
And they're playing in LA, so there's no favoritism or anything like that as well.
Yeah.
Because they're in the West, right? Yeah. So they're in LA, West, so there's no, there's going to be no kind of like UConn, any sort of coordinate advantage there. I might agree with you because one of my favorite picks to cover in a couple of games kind of plays off with UNC actually losing to these guys in the conference championship. And I don't know, like Alabama is not they're a 4 seed. They are not a bad basketball team. You don't necessarily think of Alabama as a basketball school, but I am going to take that out of consideration and go right into it and say they're a fucking really good basketball team this year. And UNC is honestly, I think Alabama puts UNC on their heels. And for that reason, I think that is why Alabama could cover. I think UNC is going to be on their heels a little bit because I think Alabama's going to come in fired up. I think Alabama's going to come in like ready to do something. Not that UNC is going to take them light. I'm not saying that, but I think Alabama's going to be showing up ready to go, and I think that might catch UNC a little bit off target. So that's why I even think Alabama. I think Alabama covers. Like I think they're good at halftime. I think they're winning at halftime. And then UNC's got to come back and kind of make it a game.
Yeah, it'll be a sweat one. I don't foresee Alabama running away with this. I don't really see UNC running away with it unless Baycott. The only way I see UNC blowing this one up is if Baycott comes in as like a 30, 35 pointer and he's just unstoppable. I don't think that's the case. I think they have a couple of those guys that are just like they're really bad on offense, but they play really good defense.
And that's and that's where again, Alabama's going to come in and be ready to play basketball, not just shoot the ball around.
Yeah, they're gritty. They're gritty. I think they sweat this one out and get a win. I don't know if I love taking the money line, but I would definitely lay the points. I like the 4.5.
All right, I'm adding this one to the thing. Our first, so. If you guys saw the ticker, for anybody that's watching as well, we're going to put BG's favorite pick at the bottom, and then we're going to put my favorite pick at the bottom. And that way we just kind of have a little something for you guys tickered in case you guys are looking. But also, if you want all of these plays, we will have our entire card posted. We'll have a lean for every game, over, under, and spreads posted in Discord probably today or tomorrow. I mean, it'll be tonight, today, tomorrow morning, something like that before all these games are done. But I'm going to go ahead and ticker this Alabama plus 4.5. Cool deal. All right, moving on to the next one. All right, we got Illinois, Iowa State. Now, I looked at this game a couple days ago, looked at it again yesterday, looked at it again this morning at about a couple hours ago, and I still came to the same damn conclusion that I've come the last 3 days I've looked at it. I don't have a freaking clue.
Yeah, I mean, I lean in Iowa State because I picked them. I have them going to the Final Four. I have them winning in one of my brackets.
Oh, wow! So you've been you're high on Iowa State.
Yeah, I follow that guy on Instagram that does the Trapezoid of Excellence, and they're dead straight in the middle with Purdue. So I'm high on them. They're just very efficient in everything they do. I don't know how bad they'll in this game because I watched Illinois play and I watched them in the ACC tournament. I haven't seen a March Madness game of them yet, but they can shoot, man. They can shoot. I think if you catch Illinois on a hot day, you're in a world of trouble. But I like Iowa State. I just think they're all around good. They just play basketball the right way, I guess if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. I like Iowa State, and the only reason I like them here, I'd be 50-50, but I picked them to win in my bracket, so I like them here.
Yeah,
to be completely honest.
No, and I mean that's a great take, like being on Iowa State from earlier on, because that makes honestly this decision a little bit easier. Because for me personally, I don't even touch this game; it's too close. Because I go look at Illinois and I'm like, okay, they played Quick, they scored 89. They play Moorhead, they scored 85. They play Wisconsin, they scored 93. They play Nebraska, they scored 98. So I'll tell you one thing I would do in this game is take the over. I don't know.
Iowa State's just so bad. They're so bad against the over too.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to see how Iowa State was.
And it's a high over. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a high over. It's 173. I mean, we're talking like week one of this tournament. We had games at like 140, like 139.5.
Why is that high? Why is that so high?
I don't know. I thought they'd give Iowa State more credit on their defense, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
No, because if you can see this, I mean, Iowa State has played one game this year where they've scored 173 points. One.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at each team having to go over 85. Go over 85 points. I mean, you're banking on Illinois scoring 90. If Illinois scores 90, they're winning this game. So
I would agree. And Iowa State's not scoring. Iowa State's not scoring 85.
No, I don't foresee that. I mean,
they hadn't scored 85 in 3 years.
No, they're not.
Oh my gosh,
they play good D. I mean, they scored 82 against South Dakota State. I mean, they live in the mid 70s, high 60s.
Wow. Yeah, they have one game. I mean, they got one game this year where the total went over 173, and that was versus whoever this team is on December 1st. I don't even know who that is. DEP initials.
DePaul.
So DePaul. So again, a shit mid-major university.
I don't know. I don't particularly like the game. If you think this goes over, if you're confident in the over, I would take it on. I mean, I don't. If this game goes over, Iowa State's
let me tell you something. If you can look at what we're looking at right here and see 1 out of 36 at 2% and 9 out of 36 at 25%, and you say I'm taking that over, hey, Godspeed to you, brother.
Yeah, that that would be gambling.
Golly, that's crazy. All right, yeah. Iowa State, Illinois State. BG unofficially is going to take Iowa State. Strictly because he said a big reason was he has them in his bracket. He's been high on them since the beginning of March Madness. Totally respect that decision. Saggy Bills / Chris, I'm out. I'm staying away from this game completely. But unofficially, both of us would play the under every day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Every day that
Yeah,
ends in
I
a
mean,
Y. Every day.
at 173.5 minus
Yeah,
110. Yeah, I
I'm
mean you're
all
getting
day.
good odds, man.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
getting
all
good
day. That's
odds.
almost even money right there. You're not getting any better than 110. I'm taking it all day.
Yeah.
First comment. What up, Drake? We got Drake commenting in the chat. Appreciate you stopping in, Drake. We are just checking out March Madness. If anybody else, by the way, if anybody has any leads, reads, questions, comments, concerns, just drop them in the comments below, and me and BG would be more than happy to help you guys out. All right, moving on about halfway through here. NC State Marquette. First Friday game, by the way. This is Friday at 6, so don't be alarmed. South. You know where they're playing at?
Yeah, that's Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, so we got NC State Marquette, so we got no type of court
Yes.
advantage for anybody right here. So
Mhm.
going into this one, this was actually NC State. NC State's going to be my favorite pick for these two slates, and here's why. So I am looking at their last 3 games. So NC State's opening up to Marquette at plus 6.5. Conference championship, they play UNC. They beat them by 8 whenever they were a plus 10.5. That's one. Texas Tech. You're going into Texas Tech as a 11 seed. So you're playing the 5 seed, Texas Tech at plus 4.5.
Yeah, 16.
So yeah, so you beat them by 13.
Yeah.
Then
pretty
you
good.
play. Then you play this team. So this is then you play these guys right here. So like honestly, you can tell the box score, it went into overtime. So for me, I kind of like that because it told me that NC State it tells me 2 things. One, Oakland was that Cinderella story that, like we just talked about with what's going to happen to Clemson, that exact shit happened to Oakland, right? Oakland goes on the Cinderella story. That guy gets famous for draining all the threes. But then guess what? They face an actual basketball team. They go into overtime and they lose by 6, and they're done. You're never going to hear about Oakland again for the rest of your life. You're only going to hear about that one guy who looks like somebody from The Office that drained a bunch of threes.
Jack Golke.
Yeah. So for those 2 reasons, I love NC State for their side. Then I move over to Marquette. Marquette faced Providence in the conference championship. Not bad. They're they're always, you always kind of hear about them in the March Madness basketball world. They're going to be around.
I love Providence. Their colors and their mascot look dope.
Do have sick colors. Then you got them versus Western Kentucky round 1. They go in as a 14.5 favorite. They win by 18. Not that impressive, in my opinion. Nothing about that game impressed me. I don't think Marquette did anything special. They were supposed to win by 15. They won by 18. If you look right here, it was 43-36. Western Kentucky was actually up by 6 at halftime. So now Marquette's got to go on a massive run, which they do. They outscore them 51-26. But, I mean, again, slow start. Can't happen from a 2 seed. Then you got them facing Colorado. So then we have in my opinion, the exact flip-flop of what happened in the Western Kentucky game. Marquette starts out hot. They're up 9 at halftime, and then they lose by 4. That's a problem. Like, in my opinion, that's a problem. You can't have that. You can't be up by 9 and then go on to lose by 4. The spread was 4.5. So one game, Marquette started out slow and got hot. The next game, they started out hot and got slow. NC State has beat UNC, has beat Texas Tech, and has beat a hot Oakland team and went into overtime with them.
Yeah, and Oakland plays so different. I mean, it's almost like they're an outlier. The way they play basketball is you're not.
What is it, like 9? Like so many percent, like the amount of 3-pointers they shoot a game or something like that is like is like through the roof, huh?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think Golke himself had like 310 attempts from 3 out of like 330 total attempts on the year. It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, after that, that's my official one right here. I'm putting it in. I'm typing it in the bottom. We got NC State plus 6.5 versus Marquette. I like him. That's my favorite one for today.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to run. The game's going to run through the big men. I think. I think it
Mhm.
goes through Burns. If Marquette can stop Burns, then I think they win this game. Nobody has been able to stop Burns
and it's
since before the ACC tournament. So
and I'm kind of taking you almost to your point as well, what you said earlier, where you said like, you're kind of you can't go away from UConn because why would you?
yeah,
They haven't proved you wrong yet. So okay, NC State, no one stopped this big man in 3 weeks. All right, I'm not saying they're going to win, but like I think they keep it close and cover.
yeah, I would agree. I think this is another one too. I don't know if you've looked at it. I just want to look at it again. I would hammer the under. I mean, the
Is
under is
for this one?
173.5 again, and go Doink gives it to you. It's just red.
Yeah, and so that's where it's an obvious one. Honestly, it's an obvious one. You don't think twice about it. You just go right in it.
It hasn't even been particularly close. Like Marquette's looking at 158, 156, 130, 147. I mean, they're 20 points off. I would hammer.
Yeah, we're gonna. Agreed. All right, 3 left here. BG, we got Purdue and we got Gonzaga. Friday, 6:30. What you like in this game? Who you got in this game? Who would you unofficially look at? Or are you avoiding this one with a big old red flag and not even touching it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably avoid. I'm split. My head tells me Gonzaga. For a lot of reasons. Everybody's saying Purdue's better this year. I've watched it. It just doesn't. And it depends on the whistle they give Edey. If Edey gets a good whistle, I mean, obviously they'll win. But I like Gonzaga. My head says Gonzaga. My heart says Purdue. I'm going to stay away. I was going to say after watching what Wisconsin did to Purdue in the Big Ten tournament, I don't trust them, and I think Gonzaga is kind of like an outlier this year. I think they're a pretty good basketball team. Obviously, they're usually ranked higher than a 5 seed, but I think they're a good basketball team. I'm going to stay away. I'm torn.
No, I'm kind of. This is going to be one of those games where it's either going to be within a point, or I personally think this game blows out. Seriously, like I really think it can blow out one direction.
I would agree.
I kind of agree with you as well, though. I'm staying away from this. But looking at it, you got Purdue, right? Look at the tournament.
Yeah,
they played 2 games, Michigan State they beat Michigan State and then they lose to Wisconsin. They're done. Goodbye. Like that was it. That was their tournament. Gone. So then they come in and they play Grambling, who Grambling. They're it's a Louisiana school. I was rooting freaking hard for Grambling too.
Yeah.
And they lose, projected to win by 26. They cover by 1.5 points. Okay, cool. Not that impressive. So then we're going to go to this Utah State game.
Yeah, this one got ugly late, man. I mean,
dude,
this felt like a give up.
I mean,
Utah State.
I thought it was a give up going into the game for Utah State. I didn't think Utah State stood a freaking chance. If you would have, our college basketball guy was on Purdue so hard. It was his best bet of the day. And I think one of his reasonings was like the games Utah State had lost or something that year. Like they had lost, I don't know how many games, but let's say they lost majority of them by like double digits to teams in the top 25. And those were like their only losses or something, something like that. It was just, I didn't think they stood a chance. So they beat a bad team.
Terrible teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Woohoo. Like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you go to Gonzaga. You got McNeese, who's coached by Will Wade, obviously. So that's an old LSU coach. Whether you like Will Wade or not, I think he's a damn good coach. He took them from a 0-0 program to a 3-loss program. Yep. And he actually said he was going to do that in his interview. In his initial interview, he said he was going to take them to 3 losses, which is kind of wild. But you beat them by 21. Dude, a lot of people were on McNeese plus 6.5.
Yeah, that was a favorite. They had a lot of 12s this year that were favorites, and they beat them pretty convincingly.
Yeah, and then we go to this game. Now,
Yeah,
what
this
happened?
is
What
the
happened
one.
here, though? What happened?
I don't know. You go in the halftime down 1, and either Kansas went as cold as they've ever gone, or Gonzaga's defense was pretty damn good. I think their defense was pretty damn good in the second half. Probably a little bit of both, but they scored 24 points in the second half. I mean, like, this is college basketball. This is one of the blue bloods of college basketball that scores 24 points in the second half. Now, they're not as good as they were last year,
Don't matter.
Kansas, but to score 24 points, that takes a special team,
Hell
and they're
yeah.
not bad.
No.
So that's where I lean to Gonzaga some more. I mean, I agree with what you said, though. If it's close, I think Gonzaga pulls it out. If it's close, I think the only way Purdue wins this game is if it's a double-digit victory.
Mm-hmm. I think so too, and I do. Let me say this: I do not think Gonzaga lets this game blow out. No shot.
No,
but I do think the only way Purdue wins is if they get ahead and they stay ahead. But ain't no way Gonzaga let that happen.
Yeah. And the refs too. I think, like you saw it, Edey got a favorable whistle against Wisconsin. Obviously, they lost to Wisconsin in the ACC, the Big Ten championship, but he got a favorable whistle, and it keeps Purdue hanging around. So it depends on the refs. If we're gonna play ticky-tack foul and Edey gets foul calls all night long, then it could get ugly. But
well, it's the same concept. Not to get too off track, but the ref actually took a screenshot of it last night. This is women's though, but in the West Virginia Iowa game, free throws attempted by each team. West Virginia lost by 10 points to Caitlin Clark in Iowa. So note, these are free throws made by each team. Iowa Hawkeyes, 25 for 30 from the free throw line that game. 25 for 30. Yeah. So that's what? 15 foul calls on Iowa?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Roughly.
West Virginia, 3 for 5 from the free throw line.
And a lot of people were chalking it up to the late game fouls by West Virginia.
Oh my gosh! There is not 16 late game fouls. People, get out of here with that. Are you kidding me? The agenda. It's the agenda, and that's where I agree. The refs, the agenda. Those are the stuff that we can't control as cappers, but we can try our best. But you got to watch out. This is a game where an agenda, in my opinion, comes into play.
Yeah, I think a lot of these games, we've said it for everyone, I think, except for maybe the 2 games that we like. They feel so 50-50. Like one thing can swing Purdue's way, one thing can swing Gonzaga's way. It could go either way.
Yeah, we're also there at that point in madness as well. Once you get to Sweet 16, spreads get lower. But even if a spread is 6.5, that game can flip either way.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, 2 more. Let's get through them. We got Duke and Houston. Big game.
Yeah. For sure. I mean,
what you like?
I like Duke. I don't. Yeah. I mean, really? I don't think I do. I watched the A&M game, the Houston A&M game, and it just felt like as much as Houston wanted to try to pull away, they couldn't.
Yep. I had A&M plus 9.5 too.
Yeah, I mean, great bet. I don't know. I think they couldn't stop Wade for A&M. I mean, McCain's better than him, and I think having Filipowski there, I don't know who Houston's gonna. I mean, I don't think they stop Filipowski either. I don't know who is gonna play defense for Houston.
I mean, look, and I'm gonna say this too. Look who Houston lost to on the 16th.
Yeah, it's
that's Iowa State, who you got beat in Illinois. So
bad.
You got them. So they play a game on the 16th. They lose by 28. They have an 8-day break. They play a game on the 24th, win by 5, almost lost it, win to overtime. Now you got another 3-4 day break, and you're playing a Duke team that just come off of a 6.5 point favorite and beat them by 38, which again,
I throttled them. That one was never close. That was never close.
JMU and GCU were 2 teams on that day where I was like,
yeah. Yeah,
Pow.
I thought JMU was
Pow.
pulling that one.
Me too.
I thought
No, me
JMU was
too.
pulling that
Me
one.
too.
But,
And then Duke comes out and beats them by 38. That
oh
was
yeah,
like, to me, that said old Duke. Old Duke's here.
yeah,
Old Duke's here. And we're about to like, goodbye Houston. That I'm in on Duke as well. I'm out
yeah.
on Houston.
I just did like Shed is phenomenal. I think if Shed was on maybe any other team, that's you put Shed on like a Kansas, and Kansas is not a 4 seed anymore. They're a 1 or 2. It just it felt like he didn't have any help. It felt like he had to keep pulling them up. Like
Yeah,
A&M would
watching.
come and tie it up, and then Shed would just have to do something crazy.
Yep, and then watching, and that's how like I mean, I'm cheering for A&M, and I'm watching the whole game, and I'm like, man, Houston is not. This ain't a 1 seed.
No,
Like, this
it
ain't
didn't
a
feel
1
like a
seed.
1 seed. It was the
No.
same thing I felt for North Carolina. It doesn't feel like a 1 seed. UConn is the only one that feels like, geez, who's gonna beat these dudes?
Oh, look, we got Cole. We got Cole stopping in, giving us a go, Blue Devils.
That
We
makes me want to pick Houston.
Hey, we got 2 Blue Devils. I'm all for Duke, baby. I think Houston. I think this is where their run ends. I think this is where their 32-4 season comes 32-5. And I really think old Duke showed up against that JMU team, and I mean even against UVM too. I mean, beat them by 17. Like, okay, you did your job there. That showed me, okay, you showed up and got shit done, did what you were supposed to do. And then you go to JMU 2 days later and beat them. Like, yeah. So that was. I'm all in for Duke. I'm all out on Houston.
Yeah. I'm
All right, real quick, I'm going to go through this before we get to our last pick and we kind of wrap this up. Clemson, Arizona. We said unofficially we're going to stay away. UConn, San Diego State. We said unofficially UConn. North Carolina, Alabama. We officially said live stream. This is BG's favorite pick. He took Alabama plus 4.5. Iowa State, Illinois. We unofficially took Iowa State. BG likes him a lot. He had him in his bracket early on. He's been a big Iowa State fan, so he took them. NC State and Marquette. I took NC State as my best play for the live stream at plus 6.5. Yeah, plus 6.5.
Yeah.
Purdue and Gonzaga. We said unofficially we're going to stay away from this game because it feels a little bit too much like an agenda game. And then we just finished up with Duke and Houston, and we took Duke at plus 4. And honestly, I am going to add that into the banner as well. If anybody is watching the banner below, these are our official live stream picks. And let's see, we got one more game. We got Creighton and Tennessee, and we'll be wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, I mean this one was easy for me. Tennessee pissed me off last year, so give me Creighton all day. That's really the only reason why. I just don't trust Tennessee. It seems like they do this every year. They look really good, and then they just fumble the bag.
Yep, I'm on the same page right there for Creighton as well. I'm Creighton all day. I'm always Creighton. I like what they did against Akron. I like what they did against Oregon. And look, Oregon State. I mean Oregon. I'm not going to say I was high on Oregon. I'm not going to say I thought they were like really, really good or anything. But I mean, Oregon comes out and they were a 3.5 projected favorite. They beat them by 13. I mean, that's that says something. And then Tennessee right here, they come out and they play. Who was that? SPU, St. Is that no?
Hold on. Yeah, it's St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, they 21-point favorite. They beat them by 34. So they did their job.
Yeah. And the Kentucky win looks less impressive as this tournament goes on. They beat Kentucky by 4, or no, they lost to Kentucky. Sorry,
they lost to
even worse.
Kentucky
It's even
by 4.
worse. Yeah, even worse. Sorry, I was looking at February 3rd, and I had to scroll back.
No, so that's what I'm saying too. You're exactly right. That loss to Kentucky on the 9th looks freaking bad now. Looking really, really bad now.
Yeah, I don't trust Tennessee. I never have. I did have the over circled on this one.
Mm-hmm.
When I was looking through Doink, I mean, the hit rates feel pretty good. Creighton scores points. I think Tennessee can score points. I think if Tennessee is going to win this game, it's going to be some kind of track meet with Creighton. Can you keep up?
But I mean, you can look at Creighton. Creighton's going to give up points. I mean, you can see that in these games. Like they're going to give up points, and Tennessee's going to
decent team.
Yeah, they're going to score. It's going to be. I like the big back and forth here. I think it's going to be a high point game as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree. I don't have
yeah.
much analysis on this game. I don't
No,
have
me
much
neither.
for you.
No,
I don't
same.
trust Tennessee. Give me Creighton. I'll lay the 2.5. I'll take the money line. Give me Creighton all day long.
Yeah, I'd be interested too if their money line, just for anybody that's listening, if Creighton's money line is anything around plus 160, plus 160 or higher, I would say that's pretty good value to put like a point, a 0.5 on, put like a half unit on a money line.
Yeah,
If it's
sprinkle
about
it in.
sprinkle in a plus 160 or higher. If it's anything lower than that, I would probably stay away just because of value wise. But no, other than that,
It
well,
might
look,
not even be that high. Creighton -1 adjusted lines like plus 130, so it might even just be even money.
yeah. So that's what I would, and that's what if Vegas is going to give Creighton 2 points and they're going to give you an even
take the 2
money line,
points.
I'm taking my 2 points every day
Yeah,
of the
take the 2
week.
points.
Yeah, I'm
Put
taking
another
my
$15 up and take your
absolutely,
2 points.
absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, look, we're going to be wrapping this thing up. If first things first, I want to appreciate and I want to thank BG. We're going to give BG a round of applause. He did absolutely fantastic today on the live show. As I make the move across the country, live shows, it's going to be suspect if we have one on Friday, but going forward, we're definitely going to have guys like BG on more often. We're going to have other guys on. This was a lot of fun. It was great to kind of banter back and forth. It's always fun, just being me and you guys, but it's always nice to have another guy on and just kind of help out. But other than that, we got our 3 picks labeled across the bottom. Just again, we got BG's favorite pick of the day, Alabama plus 4.5. We got Chris's favorite pick of the day, NC State plus 6.5. And then me and BG's favorite altogether is going to be Duke plus 4 versus Houston. We think Houston is donezo. All right, BG. You got any
Thanks for having me.
you got any closing thoughts before we roll out?
No, man, just follow Catching Cash, join the Discord, do what you can.
Every day of the week, baby. We send
Yeah.
live plays. We send plays 5 to 7 days a week across every major sport, Discord, Twitter, slowly getting into TikTok. I need to think of content. I'm the TikTok one. So we're getting there. But follow us on TikTok, Instagram. We're going to get there, Twitter, Discord. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you guys on